Let me have a look.
What battle rank are you now?
28.
I'm battle rank 13. How many hours have you got played?
Probably too many. Let me. It doesn't say. It
says that if you launch it through Steam.
I don't play Steam. Steam eats resources for games like this.
It
Does it?
say, I don't remember where though.
But I've probably got 120 hours in, honestly.
I've only got like 35.
And over the Double X weekend, I did get about 4 battle ranks. 5, maybe.
I have 36 hours in the Mosquito. Let me check my Liberator.
So, are you saying that if you go and
15 hours
download
in
the
Liberator.
client, the standalone client, it's less resource intensive than the Steam version?
Yeah, because
Correct.
Steam always has the Steam overlay running.
Because I'm
Turn that
rocking
off.
dual core. I need to.
Okay, and you?
I need to switch, I guess.
Well, the question is, it depends on your computer and how the Steam, like some people, Steam just never runs well on their computer anyways, and if that's the case, you definitely don't need to be running the game through Steam.
You can actually shut down Steam with the task manager after you've launched Planetside and the game will still run.
Yeah, but I'd go through that hassle if you can just run the game without Steam.
Do you not have to reload the game through a different client then?
Fair
See,
enough.
that's weird, eh?
All right,
I'm guessing
folks,
that all your progression is stored in the
Comps.
web server, yeah?
we're going to get started here in just a moment. This is Atrix. For those of you who don't know me, I'm going to be spending some time with you guys going over event communications, moving as a squad, driving around in Sunderers, how base capture mechanics work if we need it, stuff like that. Thank you all for coming. Last time we did this, it ran about 3 hours. That's way too long in my opinion, so I'm going to try to shorten it up a bit. But bear with me. If you have any questions or input or comments or suggestions as we're going along, this course is a work in progress, so please feel free to do that. First thing I'd like to go over before we even get out of the Sunday here is comms discipline. Purpose of this course is for learning how to work as an organized squad and basically run around. Instead of looking like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off, we want to look like a bunch of Navy SEALs by the time we're done here. So step 1 is comms discipline. Idle chatter. You guys could bullshit if you like, but the important thing is if there's something important that needs to be said, you can't have the channel cluttered and you can't be talking over people. So, first of all, if people are talking and they have something important to say, if you've got something important to say and you need people to shut up for a minute, it's fine to tell them to shut up, but you don't say it like that. You're going to say, break comms, I've got armor to the north, or something like that. So, break comms. If you say that loud enough, whoever's talking will stop, and you'll be able to say what you need to say. We also have a bit of a priority system we would like to follow as far as who gets to speak over whom in TeamSpeak. Now, if you've got something important to say and you need to talk over the squad leader real quick, he's not going to bite your head off, but try to limit that if you can. First of all, there's the command channel. Now, most of you will never hear the command channel, but it is there. If your squad leader's circle in TeamSpeak next to his name is yellow, he is listening to the comm channel. And that's basically for squad leaders to communicate between squads when we're in a platoon. The reason I even mention it at all is that if your squad leader is listening to that and listening to you guys, he's got 2 different things going on at once, and let me tell you, it gets crazy. So if he's telling you something and begins to trail off, or if he asks you to be quiet real quick for seemingly no reason, that means he's having a hard time hearing the command channel, and you need to pipe down for a moment for him and help him out. So that's that. After command channel, we've got the all squads channel. You all should have set up your all squads button when you did the TeamSpeak training. I see Army's got his. That's the one where it makes you light up red. And what that does is that will broadcast your voice to everyone in the platoon in TeamSpeak, not just your squad. So what's that for? Well, we want to use all squads when we see something that's important to the entire platoon. Say you're working on capturing a base and you look out the window and all of a sudden you see a whole column of enemy armor coming over the hill. If you're in a platoon, that's probably something everybody's going to want to know, so that's all right. Broadcast with all squads, and whenever you do that, make sure you say, all squads, enemy armor incoming from the west, or something like that. After all squads, we've got the squad leader. He will generally shut up for all squads because people in other channels don't know they're talking over you, so all squads has priority. But squad leader and then the members in the squad. So don't try not to talk over the squad leader. All squads with a command channel. If your leader tells you to pipe down for a moment, and that'll be all good. Okay. Next thing. Every time you hop in a squad, you get a number. If you look down on the bottom right near your minimap, you're going to see not only the capture points for the base you're in, you also have a compass, you have your cert points, but on the right side of the minimap, you have a list of everybody's names and a number. That number next to your name will stick with you even as people join and leave the squad. As long as you don't leave and come back, you will have that number as long as you're in the squad. And we use that for a couple different things while we're in a squad. So you're going to want to pay attention to what your number is. I, for example, am Alpha 1. Rio is Alpha 2 right now. When you're in a squad, it'll also say above this list, or when you're in a platoon, you'll see above this list which squad you're in. So keep an eye on that. Tick's Alpha 8 right now, so that's the way that works. You also want to pay attention to whether you're an even or an odd number. When we storm through buildings and stuff like that, there's some special things we'll be doing where evens will go one way, odds will go another. It's very important you pay attention when you join a squad, whether you're even or odd, and what your number is. So let's go down the list real quick. I'll go first. Alpha 1, Atrix, and I am odd.
Even as Rio.
What's
Number
your
2.
Super Thrive, odd.
Slayer of Tacos, Eve.
Phoebe, odd.
That's Life 6. Alpha 7 Thrasher, odd.
Alpha 8, even.
Alpha 9, Army, odd.
The British guy is broken.
Blue, you hear Blue?
Oh, sorry, what?
Oh,
I was AFK
man.
for a second there. What was that?
That's all right. I was just saying that we got to pay attention to our squad number. You're Alpha 10, and we also need to pay attention to whether we're even or odd, and you are even. All right, so
Okay.
we pay attention to these numbers because if the squad leader's looking at the map, he can't see the list of names, but he can see your numbers. And he might need you to do something real quick. He might say Alpha 4, move to the building to your east or something like that. So you got to know when he's talking about you. So, all right, that's the numbers. Next thing. Well, does anybody have any questions about that, first of all? Okay, good. All right, next thing. We have to get used to speaking in the third person. Would anyone like to explain what speaking in the third person means?
Blue would.
Go ahead.
Good one.
Speaking in the third person is referring to yourself by your name and not I, because a lot of people don't know your voice, so you're better off, referring to yourself in the third person, just to be clear for everyone.
That is absolutely correct, and the reasoning is correct as well. Nobody knows who I or me is. Do not assume people know your voice. If you got something important to say, use your name. All right, next thing. Let's see. I got in my notes radio channel usage cases for the TeamSpeak. Went through all that. Bear with me for a moment. All right, I'd like to talk about identifying threats. Anytime you're in a vehicle or on the ground and see enemies, you should be announcing it to your squad. There's a couple ways to do this. First of all is your Q button. Would anyone like to tell me what the Q button does?
That's what I feel.
I'm sorry, say that again.
It spots.
Yes, it spots enemies. Not only does it spot an enemy, but it puts a triangle over their head that your teammates could see. Not only that, but it will tell you what class they are if they're way far off and you can't tell. And as an added bonus, if you do that on a Galaxy or a Sunderer, it will tell you how many people are in it, and that's very good information to know as well. So whenever you see an enemy, for the most part, you should use your Q button. One small note, enemies can hear you use the Q button. They will hear you yelling out that you've spotted them if they're close enough. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're trying to stay really quiet, stay off of the Q button unless you have a really good reason to use it. Also, other squads, when they use their Q button, they have different voices than the TR does. So use that to your advantage as well. Pay attention to the tone of the voice, and if it's not what you normally hear, it's probably an enemy. And if he's announcing your class, he's probably spotting you, so you may want to find some cover. So that's a Q button. And once you find a target, hit your Q button, light them up. You're going to want to let the people on TeamSpeak know. First thing, if your position is like not in the middle of the base, if you're off near a rock somewhere or anything like that, you could use yourself as a basis for where this guy is. So you're going to want to say your squad and your number. For example, I'd say Atrix Alpha 1. I've got tanks to the northeast. So that's it. You want to say who you are, first of all. You want to use the type of threat, whether it be armor, whether it's air, infantry. You want to let people know what's coming. You want to let people know the direction of the threat. For most times, you'll want to use compass directions. You do have a compass over your mini-map. If you're not used to using it all the time, just keep practicing. You will get better. Besides the compass, we might be moving in a vehicle. We might be in formation as infantry moving across a base. In that case, you can also use left, right, ahead, behind, above, below, and that's all with respect to the direction of travel. If we're not moving in any particular direction, that's going to confuse everybody, so then stick to your compass. But if we're moving, you can use those directions. One small note, we're not going to use dead ahead. Can anybody tell me why we don't want to use dead ahead?
Nobody knows where you're looking.
That's true. Also, if you say dead ahead, if I say enemy Sunder dead ahead, then people say, oh, it's dead. I don't even need to worry about that anymore. And then we end up having infantry dropping on our heads. So try not to use dead ahead. I do it all the time myself, but try not to. Try to get that out of your, make that a non-habit if it is a habit for you. Okay, you also, if you see enemies on hilltops or vehicles up high, or maybe there's enemies down in a ravine, when you're saying northeast, you can say northeast high or southeast low, just so people know they're supposed to be looking up or down to find these guys. Last but not least, when you're saying a direction, northeast, southwest, whatever, make sure you let us know northeast of what. Is it northeast of you? Is it northeast of the base? That's important. And if we're spread out even a little bit, that can make a big difference to where people are looking. So, okay, so that's the bare minimum. You want to say who you are, the type of threat, and where it's coming from. That should be in every communication. If you have extra time and you're not trying to yell over people, very good things you could also tell us is the number of enemies. If you get a good count, that's great. If you see a Galaxy or a Sunder or a Liberator, let us know how many people are in it. If there's a full Galaxy coming, we want to take it out, but if it's empty, it's honestly really not worth dealing with. You'd probably be better off shooting at something else. So, number in the vehicle is important as well. Another thing you could tell us is the distance or the direction of travel, or how long you anticipate them before they reach the squad. So, just to recap, who you are, the type of threat, direction of threat, number of enemies, distance, direction of travel, time, and as my big, all-encompassing, glorious example, I would say Atrix Alpha 1, enemy armor northwest of Alpha, capture point, 2 mag riders and a lightning, moving southeast, closing in fast. You may not always have time to say all of that, but it's all useful info.
Now,
Any
my
questions?
only thought is, since most people are only going to be adhered to their own squad, you shouldn't have to say alpha every time. If you understand what I'm saying. No, normally it's only 12 people in the channel and some people in your squad.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. When you're in a platoon, you might hear people saying stuff on all squads as well. So
Yes.
whenever I have, as a squad leader, if I have a command for Alpha and I'm in Alpha Squad, I will say, Alpha Squad, please do this, just to make sure
Yes,
people
that I
are paying
will
attention.
say that.
Yeah, don't be afraid to use your squad name. Okay, any other questions, comments on that?
Slayer of Tacos would like to make a comment.
Yes, go right ahead.
Just as a general thing, it's all very subjective. Like, in the middle of a biolab fight, obviously not everybody's going to have time to say Alpha 1, Slayer of Tacos, with the mag riders and whatnot. I mean, if it's a big fight, keep it short and sweet, but out and about in places like Ravens that I just came from, just kind of,
connected.
use your head.
Yes, absolutely. And I will say everything that you will learn today in this course is for ideal conditions. It will begin to break down when we get into the middle of a big giant firefight. The idea is to get general ideas of how we're supposed to behave, move as a team, work together, and provide some examples of it, and do our best when we get into a group. It's going to sort of be automatic when we get out in the middle of a firefight. I guess my point is learn, but realize that nothing's going to be perfect when you're actually out there. So, okay.
Let's rock.
If that's all for questions, I believe I'm all done with voice comms. Next up, we're going to go over Sunder movement. When we are moving between, or when we're moving around any time as an infantry squad, majority of the time it's going to be in a Sunder. We may do some galaxy drops and stuff as well, but that's the exception, not the rule, so I'm really not going to focus on that today. Galaxy is what it is. I would like everyone to hop out of the Sunday right now. Now, Sunder is deployed. First of all, when we're moving around as a group, our goal is to get the Sunday to our destination as quickly as possible while avoiding enemies and not getting killed. So, in order to do that, we need to be able to respond to threats, Sunder-specific threats, namely. And in order to do that, we're going to have to change some classes up. Whatever you normally run, whatever you're specialized in, if it fits into this, please go that route. Otherwise, you may have to switch up your class whenever you hop in a Sunday, just to keep us better protected when we run into a Liberator or a tank or something like that. First of all, we need to have, whenever we're traveling in the Sunday, at least 2 AA max. This is to take care of any air. We're going to have gunners in there, and they're okay, but you're going to want a couple anti-air as well to hop out and really scare the crap out of whatever's firing on us to get them to bug off or even, hopefully, explode. So I see I've got 1, 2 AA max. Very good. Thank you very much. In addition to that, we should have 2 medics and 3 engineers, and one of those engineers should be a driver. So So I see we've got 2 medics in the squad right now, and I've got 1, 2 engineers. We're not quite full, so I won't worry about the third one right now. That'll work for now. Let's see. For everybody else, you're going to want to go either heavy assault or light assault with C4, whatever you're more comfortable with. And you are the anti-tank group. So.
What's up, dude?
And can I have one of the engineers volunteer as driver?
I will volunteer as a driver.
What is going on?
We are doing infantry training right now. All right, so let's hop in the Sunder again. As far as seats go, driver is going to want to be in seat number 1. This is open, so you will be able to switch seats. Obviously, driver in seat number 1. Light assault and heavy assault are best suited for the gunner seats. That way, the Maxes can jump out if need be, and we could still have turrets on the Sunday shooting at the air. So that's okay. Everyone else should be taking and paying attention to the seat that you're in. Let me give us a waypoint here. We could start driving around, actually. Head off towards the squad waypoint, and when we get there, I'll update it again.
You guys want another person in the squad, or?
You could join us next time. I'll be running this course again next week at some point, so.
Okay, fine.
Alrighty. We are also live streaming. If you go to the address by my name, you can watch it there as well. Anyway.
Remind me, Atrix, your stream's getting a skosh laggy.
What's that?
Your stream is running a skosh laggy, like 10 FPS.
Last ditch left.
Yeah, I'm on DSL. I mean,
okay.
It works. It's not perfect, but anyway, when we're moving around in the Sunday, we got to cover all directions. So driver and the front gunner ought to be facing forward most of the time, and the rear gunner should be facing the rear until we see a threat. As far as the people sitting in the seats, you shouldn't be just twiddling your thumbs. If you're in 4, 5, 6, or 7, we're always going to look left. And if you're 8, 9, 10, 11, we're always going to look right. Spot targets, use your Q button, announce it when you see them, let the squad know. So, we're going to keep moving here. I'll update the squad waypoint again. Alright, so we've got our directions of cover. You notice I didn't mention the 12-seat, by the way. 12-seat ought to be the squad leader. He's usually going to be looking at the map, directing the driver to the next destination, trying to figure out where we're going next. So he should always be in the 12 seat. All right, next. Let's see. Any questions about any of that, first of all?
Yes, one. Wouldn't it make more sense for a medic with triage to be sitting in a gunner seat, so that way wounded squad members could get into the center to heal, instead of a heavy assault or a light assault that could be attacking the tanks head-on?
Does that actually work if he's in the Sunday?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's how
triage heals by in the vehicle with them.
Oh, wow. That's news to me. That's pretty awesome, but I will have medics jumping out once in a while as well. The idea is if we have armor on the ground, the tank guns are okay, or the turrets are okay, but they're better at fending off the air. But you'll see how I got this set up in a minute. But that is awesome to know that. I didn't even know that the medics could heal inside the vehicle. All right.
It's
anyway.
a pretty rare certification at the moment, so it's not something we can expect yet.
Yeah. Even I don't have it.
Okay, so I wish my phone would quit ringing. All right.
My game just crashed.
Is
I'll
that
be
real?
back in a second. Yeah.
Let me know when you're in. All right, so we've got our seats, and we've let me see. You could keep moving back and forth and driving around as long as we're in a safe area. I updated the point again. Anyway, we've got our seats set up, and we know where we're looking. Now, what do we do when we see an actual threat? First of all, gunners. the whole idea here, like I said, is to get from point A to point B in one piece. So we don't want to attract attention to ourselves. Always assume you're not firing unless you're fired upon. That being said, if the squad leader tells us we got to take something out, we're going to do a couple different things depending on what it is. So let's say we're driving along, and all of a sudden we see a small aircraft, not a Liberator on us, either a Scythe or a Reaver. What we're going to do is stop the Sunday, so go ahead and stop. We're going to deploy right where we're at, and we're going to have the Max and Engineers out. Medics ought to stay put unless somebody dies.
Engineers including driver?
Nope, driver will stay put. Yeah, we should normally have, I see we have, well, I'm the squad leader as an engineer. I don't even remember setting myself to engineer, but anyway. Engineers will repair the Maxes, Maxes will shoot the planes, gunners will shoot the planes as well. So, good job. We hopped out, we killed the Reaver, and now it's time to repair everybody up and get back into Sunday.
Data connected.
Hey, look, an aircraft.
Yep, and once we're all in, we can move around, or get out of here.
Wait for me.
Yeah, wait for Rio. Oh, hurry up, Rio.
I was deconstructing it.
All right. So,
See, I'm going to kill Lou. He's been doing this all day.
so we're driving along, and next thing you know, there's another aircraft shooting at us, but this time it's a Liberator.
Oh no.
Liberator's hurt, so wrong. Keep driving.
Yeah.
I was just showing what to do.
Yeah.
When it's a Liberator, the last thing we want to do is make our Sunday an easy stationary target for him. So don't do this just yet, but what we're going to do is we're going to have Max's Engineers and the Medics jump out to support them. We're going to spread out so one good Sunday shot from the Dalton doesn't wipe out the whole group. And the Sunder is going to keep moving. When everybody jumps out, the Sunder is going to go in a circle around the infantry on the ground. So, Max Engineers and Medics, we got a Liberator overhead. We're going to jump out in 3, 2, 1, jump. And that Sunday's going to keep circling around. Everybody needs to spread out, spread out, spread out. You're all grouped up. Bang, you're all dead. Spread out.
Yeah, one zip
You
per
failed
shot.
training.
All right. Make sure you don't get hit by our friendly Sunday as it's driving around. All right. And good job. We didn't kill the Liberator, but he didn't expect us all to jump out. He bugged off, and he's gone. So let's get everybody repaired up. Repair the Maxes, repair the Sunder, and then we're all going to get back in and move out. So that's for a Liberator. Last but not least is the armor. If we run into armor, it's going to be heavy assaults and engineers out. Engineers want to drop some ammo, so we have rockets. Light assaults are going to want to come out and try to get close and drop C4. Driver's going to keep moving when we see that and try to get behind some cover. At that point, he's going to deploy. So let's say over this ridge, I'm going to update the waypoint. We see armor coming from that direction up there. And there they are. Everybody out and get the armor that needs to get out. So we should have light assaults, heavy assaults, engineers. Sunday's...
Where's Lou going?
I don't know. He's moving right for the armor column. He's going to get blown up out there. But he needs to go find some
was
cover.
the original squad waypoint.
He's moving to find some cover. And there, he's ducking behind some rocks over there, I think, or going over the hill. And when he finds a spot that he's safe, he's going to redeploy. Or he's going to deploy.
I don't see any ammo on the ground.
Yeah, that's my bad because I'm yelling instead of thinking. All right, so got ammo on the ground. We've got the tanks, and we're probably going to get one shot here. So once the Sunday's deployed, please let us know.
Sunder is deployed.
All right, and all right, so good. We took out the tank. Everybody's safe. Let's make our way back to the Sunder.
Hoorah, Marines.
If I could chime in
Yes.
regarding Sunder combat,
Top intake.
remember that most turrets, other than the Cobalt, which is anti-infantry, deal a fair amount of damage to armor. The Fury, the Basilisk, and the Bulldog You can actually duel a lightning tank with 2 Basilisk gunners.
You bring up a good point. I want to talk a little bit about Sunder loadout. That's it for the different threats. You may ask why we didn't talk about infantry, by the way. For the most part, we're ignoring infantry. Our goal is rarely, never to be fighting out in the middle of the open somewhere. Unless it's a whole group of heavy assaults firing missiles at us, we really just want to ignore them and get to our destination. So, anyway, as far as Sunder loadout goes, first of all, the guns. I like the default guns mostly because they are effective, at least in some way, shape, or form, against infantry, against air, and against armor. If you change your guns up, they're going to be specialized for something, and we're really not going to have as good of a chance responding to whatever random threat we're going to run into. If we were driving around as an anti-tank Sunday specifically, I would say, yeah, switch your guns out, but we need to be ready for anything, so default guns. We're also going to want the blockade armor. If you're a Sunday driver and have certs in that, that's great. Use your blockade armor. A close second to that would probably be the mine guard, but I don't see too many mines just yet. As people get more certs, that might change. Blockade armor is probably still our best bet because survivability is the name of the game. And let's see, what else? Had a list in my notes somewhere. Here it is. As far as performance slot goes, you're probably better off with the rival combat chassis rather than the racer. Better hill climbing, better turning and steering and stuff is probably going to help you hide a little bit faster than actually going fast will, if we run into armor or something like that. And there will be a lot of times where we want to get the infantry up behind a base, and you're going to need to go up a crazy hill or something like that. So, all right, so that's under a loadout. Does anybody have any other questions or comments about moving in a Sunder?
Which map are you guys on? Shield diffusers.
That's going to be sort of a special use case. I guess I could talk about it real quick. Is there anybody here who has not been in a shield breaker Sunday at some point?
I
haven't.
Slayer of Tacos not.
Well,
Thrasher
Paddock,
has
we're running a training squad just at the moment here. There's going to be another one running shortly, either this evening or next week. But right now, Alpha Squad, first platoon is where you want to go if you're looking for some action in.
Alright.
Just a side note, Atrix, we should probably do this in the drill pad next time.
Do we have a channel now? Oh, we do. Was that always up there?
Drill pad is 4. It's always been there.
I got to pay more attention to things, but this will work for now. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, shield breakers. The way that works is if you go to a tech plant or something like that, and I actually haven't played in a couple days, and tech plants are way different now. But anyway, it used to be a big deal where you could hop into a Sunder with the shield diffuser and load it up with a bunch of maxes and drive up to an enemy shield and hit a button, and bam, your Sunday could drive right through the shield. So it was a good way to break into a tech plant. You could also use it to get through the shield surrounding like an amp station or something like that when they have the perimeter walls around the outside. So that's pretty nifty thing. It's a sort of a special use case though, and you won't see it often, and for general infantry transport that will not be a thing. So just a real brief thing for you so you guys know what it is. Alright, so any other questions or comments about Sunders?
I do. It's kind of a dumb question. What slot does the shield diffuser fill on a Sunder? On the option that you would like to... Oh,
utility slot.
Alright, cool.
It's merely a transport. It does not respawn. You can't deploy it.
Yep. And for utility as a Sunday transport for infantry squad, you're always going to want AMS.
Right.
So, okie doke. So, All right, that's going to wrap it up for Sunders. Now we're going to get to the real fun stuff. We're going to do some infantry movement. So if everybody could hop out, you can switch back to your class of choice. And first of all, before we get moving around here, I'd like to talk about general squad composition, how we can be the most effective as a squad. And basically, we're going to want a couple of medics, we're going to want an engineer, and we're going to want one infiltrator. Infiltrator is going to be very important when we need to hack a terminal or scout ahead or anything like that. So they'll be running around quite a bit. If we don't have any terminals or anything to hack right away, infiltrators can sneak off to the side and try to pick some people off. Just make sure you're not giving away the location of the entire squad when you do so. As for everyone else, I see we've got a couple medics. I see we've, got a couple engineers. That's excellent. Everybody else is heavy assault, light assault, whatever makes you comfortable. If you got a lot of cert points into something, and it's not quite in these bounds, a lot of times that's fine because you are much more effective where you have your certs. So, any questions about squad composition?
Yeah, will we ever be using maxes just as a default when we're roaming around, or is it a circumstantial thing?
You could, if you're going to go max, if we've got our medics and engineers covered, you can go max and make sure it's anti-personnel or 1-in-1. Probably anti-personnel and well, it depends. Depends on what's
Well,
going on.
maxes are mostly going to be used for taking the big bases more than anything.
Yeah, I don't mind if
hitting
you're
an
rolling a
amp
max.
station or a tech plant.
Just make sure your loadout is primarily for infantry, because that's what we're concentrating on going up against. Okay, anyway, so that's composition. Let me scroll down my notes a bit here.
You can tell who's a light assault.
Gentlemen.
All right, and once in a while, you may have a squad leader call you out of our standard composition. First of all, if we need to go over a wall somewhere, you might say, all right, I want everybody to be light assault. We're all going to fly over this wall. You should immediately switch for something like that. If there's a lot of enemy air, he may say, we need lots of burster maxes and engineers for ammo. So everybody should be switching into one of those roles.
Hyper-connected.
Medics, if you could stay with the group,
Hyper-join.
you got to stay a medic for most of this stuff regardless. And then if there's a bunch of armor, you might want a bunch of heavy assault and engineers, you know. So.
Atrix, I'm going to listen to the drill pad.
All right, let's do that.
Move to drill pad. Live tick army joined. Blue joined. Light hyper joined. Super joined. Rogue joined.
My ears, they bleed.
Users, what do?
Karamax, we're doing training right now, if you don't mind.
That's my vault. I moved.
Oh, right. I'll peace.
Alright, later, man.
See ya.
Car left.
Alright. What was that?
Somebody's just joined us.
Oh,
Infug gels connected.
Hypermedic, we're doing training right now, if you don't mind. It will be done again at another point.
Hyper is not at...
Blue connected.
Sure enough.
All right, so
Blue joined.
that's composition.
TeamSpeak.
Now we're going to go over movement.
Hyper left.
The most important thing
Blue
with
times
movement,
out.
and this is counterintuitive to everything you've done so far, is the use of your sprint key. When you're all alone, dodging enemies, running through bases, everybody's almost certainly used to sprinting constantly everywhere they go. And that's wrong for organized squad. The reason we're not going to sprint is because we want to be moving slowly, we want to be checking corners, we want to be looking for enemies before we cross doorways and anything like that. perhaps even more importantly, if somebody falls behind, it allows them to catch up to the rest of the squad. It allows us to cross a dangerous area quickly and then move back to a slower pace so other people behind us can cross the area and catch up. So use sprint very sparingly, as little as possible. Any questions about that? Okie doke. So you guys can follow Atrix around. I'm actually going to go max so you can spot me easier. Well, you know what? Maybe not. I'm going to stick with my heavy assault. Let me switch to heavy assault here.
Yeah,
Just put on some funky camo if you got it.
Yeah, I've got... Let me see if I can get some camo real quick here.
Yeah, heavy's a
That only was with just one engineer, is that enough?
Yeah, for what we're doing here, we're not going into combat just yet, so we'll be alright with one.
Probably don't need me as max for this situation, so I can switch to NG.
I'm gonna go with, how about some giraffe? That sounds fun.
There you go.
That'll make you noticeable.
Jeez, Atrix, how much more do you have?
Quite a bit.
That's one of the things I do want to buy is camo.
Yeah,
Lots
waiting
of
for that
camo.
double station cash.
Yep.
Oh, did I buy the wrong one? Son of a bitch.
Hey, you bought the armor camo
Uh,
or weapon camo.
If you buy an infantry camo, is that specific to one class?
No, just infantry. They have infantry armor and weapon camo, I believe, or is the infantry camo also for the weapons? I don't know.
The armor camo is also separate from the vehicles.
Alright, so I should stand out a little bit now. You guys can follow Atrix around here. So, like I said, the most important thing is to cover your corners and stuff like that. Now, if you're the first person in line moving through the group, it won't always be the squad leader, and you should never be first in line for long. That's because every time we're moving as a group and you get to a doorway or a corner or something like that, you're going to duck down and cover as the rest of the squad moves across. Now we're going to have a new person in front, and you should keep following him. So, I guess this is a very basic form of leapfrogging. We'll get more into that later, but first person in line should cover and let the rest of the squad go through. If you find yourself falling behind, sprint to catch up. Looks like we're using some pretty good spacing here, and yeah, this looks good. We're moving around the building. Second person in line, it's not a bad idea to turn around and actually cover the rear as people are going by. So make sure you pay attention to your map, stick together, move as a squad. You should be watching everywhere you can for enemies, spotting them if you can, announcing their direction. So that's basic movement in a nutshell. Let me check my notes here real quick.
Tick needs to AFK for about 5 minutes. Kid started crying again.
Okay, go ahead, Tick. Now, as far as, let me talk about cover real quick. You should always be trying to use cover, whether that's sticking close to a building, whether that's ducking behind them crates over here. You should always be trying to reduce the amount of your body that the enemy has a shot at all times. Whenever you have cover, use it. You're way safer behind that than you are out in the open. I also like to talk about different types of concealment. First of all, being quiet. If we're trying to move across a base and you see an enemy way off in the distance that doesn't see us and isn't going to come get us, try not to open fire on him, especially when we're moving across the map. And because at that point, once again, just like the Sunder, we're trying to get to our destination so we could cap a point or do something, and we really don't want to start a fight out in the middle of the open. So Now, obviously, if they're right on top of you, you want to kill them before they kill us, but if they don't see you and they're far off, just spot him, let your squad mates know he's there, and keep moving. Besides being quiet, there's also a couple other different types of concealment. There's grass and bushes and things like that. They won't stop a bullet, and an enemy can spot you in it, but it will make it a lot harder for them to see you. You could use that to your advantage. Also, shadows. It's not going to help much during the day, but if you've ever tried to fight the Vanu at night, you know what it's like to try to shoot enemies who are very well camouflaged in the dark. Shadows actually do help. Try to keep that in mind and use that to your advantage, especially at night. Any questions?
I've got a comment.
Okie doke.
I've noticed that whenever I was running around by myself, if I was in a base and the enemy came along, whether it be Vanu or NC, if you get into a shadow and don't shoot at anybody, they'll never see you because they never look for anybody unless you're shooting at them.
Absolutely. In fact, just yesterday, I was running around solo, just trying to burn off 30 minutes and screw around. And I was following around the Zerg and going in and capping these bases, but I was all by myself. I didn't have a squad to run with. And I would go in and I would pick a corner and I would just hide for a minute. And people would go running right by me. And I'd light them up from behind. I'd be sneaky. I'd kill somebody and then run out the door and hide around a corner. And just using cover and concealment and keeping quiet most of the time. I had a kill-to-death ratio, but by the time I quit, it was like 6. It was ridiculous. And this was a solo guy on the ground doing infantry by himself against like an entire enemy group. So if you work smart, you can definitely use it to your advantage and get a lot of kills and not a lot of deaths. So not like it matters, but anyway. So that's concealment. I went over not sprinting. Like I said, the point of this is to stay together, move as a unit.
Connected.
And take out enemies. Now, what happens if we're moving along and somebody dies? Well, let's say we're moving and, oh my god, Super Thrive got shot in the head. What happens? Well, we're going to have everybody that's with the group stop. First of all, Super Thrive, you have to announce Super Thrive down. So go ahead and do that.
Super Thrive down.
Excellent. That's perfect. So we say, all right, we got to stop and get him up. We got to set up a perimeter around here. So everybody needs to pick a point and cover it and watch a direction. Once that's done, the medics can get in there and pick him up and res him up.
Are we supposed to teabag him first?
No.
Only if you don't like him.
All right, so we got him up. He's all resed up and safe. We're going to start moving out again, so you can follow Atrix. We're going north. All right, so let's talk about a couple different strategies when we're moving. Whenever we're going along a big wall like this, you're going to want to fan your view out. They call this file movement in our meeting notes, but basically the guy in front is going to be facing forward. The next guy out is going to be turning a little bit to the right and looking out at a diagonal. Everybody in the middle is going to be their back to the wall and looking straight across for enemies, and the guys in the back are going to be covering the rear. Another reason we move without sprinting is you can walk just as fast backwards as you can forwards when you're not sprinting. So that'll help the group stay together. So that's file movement. Let's all line up and move around this building once or twice with that in mind. Fresher, you're going to be first in line, so you could lead. And remember, when we get to corners, we're going to want to cover. And, alright, so Frasher's covering, very good. We're moving around.
Black connected.
I'm going to cover this doorway here and make sure that's clear. People keep going. Make sure we're sticking together, guys. Now, we don't have a heck of a lot of direction right now because we're not really moving towards the squad waypoint, but this is good practice to get us moving together.
Black joined.
Sweeping through a building. So that's pretty good. All right, so you get the general idea there. Now I'd like to talk about how we breach doorways. Everybody wants to come back out in your Atrix here. I'm on the north side of the building. Now, if we know there's a bunch of enemies in there, if it's like a capture point room or something like that, you're pretty sure you're going to have enemies in there, and they've got the doors covered. So how do we get in there quickly and take that room off of them with as few casualties as possible?
Would you use a... Oh, sorry. I thought that was a question.
First of all, we'd like the medics to sort of hang back and go in last. You're the cleanup crew after we all go in and suicide in this doorway. But basically what everybody's going to do is line up on one side of the doorway. What you don't want to do is enter this area. You don't want to cross. You don't want to get in their line of fire. You do not want them to know we're here at this point. So we line up next to the door, and the first person in line, what's going to happen is they're going to throw a grenade in the room, and as soon as that grenade goes off, everybody's going in the doorway. Once we get in the doorway, we need to spread out, because this door is a choke point. It's death. We cannot stay put in there. So it's grenade out, get through the doorway as fast as possible. Where do we go when we get in there? Well, this is the way it's always going to work in an IR squad. First person in the door is always going right. The second person in is always going left. That's to cover our corners. And that's the way it's going to work no matter which side we're coming from, no matter what's happening. First in right, second in left. Beyond that, odds and evens. This is where that's going to come into play. Pay attention to whether you're an odd or an even. And once the first two are through, everyone behind will be going odds left, evens right. We tried to just alternate all the way through before, and what was happening was everybody was, with a little bit of lag and everybody coming through at the same time, it was chaos trying to figure out exactly which side. People were hesitating. We'd end up with way too many on one side and not enough on the other. So that's why we do the odds and evens. So we're going to try that. One more time just to recap. Grenade out. First in right, second in left. Make sure you get out of the doorway quickly. And once we're in, you're going to move along the wall and try to wrap the room up. Get as far away from that door as you can. So let's try this right now. I'm going to toss a grenade and then we're going to go. So we're breaching. Get up against the wall. Grenade out.
Yeah, it lags, sorry.
Go, go, go. All right, that looks excellent. So everybody went in, spread out, and they're moving along the walls, clearing out the building. So that's how we breach a door. That went way better than it did the last time I tried this. So maybe I'm explaining better. Maybe you guys are just awesome. I don't know. But either way, that was very good. I don't even feel a need to go over that again. That's how a breach works. Next up, let me see.
Just on the grenades, should we be using frags, or should the point man maybe take a concussion grenade or something?
That requires specific class, so no.
We're going to go under the assumption that it's a frag grenade. If you're using something else, I believe, who's got a concussion or a flash right now? Anybody have a flash grenade?
That's a quick question. I just got off of work. Have I missed a lot? I really wanted to make it to this.
Yes, you did. We will be running more of them. If you want to get in from the beginning, we'll be announcing when we're doing more of these.
Okay.
Okie doke. So,
I got a question.
Yep, go ahead.
I've noticed that whenever I throw a grenade, it comes out of my right hand. Is it better to breach the door from the left so that you don't bounce it off the door frame and kill everybody?
It is
They've
better.
actually updated that where it comes straight out in front of you now.
Oh, did they? Good, good, good.
Yeah, it goes straight to the crosshairs pointing, not to the right of it.
Nice.
Yeah. And another thing I like to do, if I'm on... Come on outside and I'll show you what I'm talking about here.
Watch that door.
If I'm on the left side of the doorway here, a lot of the times, just to save myself from getting out in the open and exposing my body, what I'll actually do is bounce that grenade off the opposite side of the door frame and into the room. They do bounce very well, and especially if you're over the right side. Back when it was doing one hand coming out of your right hand all the time, you almost didn't have a choice but to bounce it off the door frame instead of going and trying to toss it in the room. Do practice with your grenades, and if you're real bad at grenades, let us know before you go tossing it so we know that we might have to bug out.
Just don't be in the front of the line.
Yep. All right, so let's see. We did entering a doorway. Let's do crossing and intersection. I want everybody up against this little container over here. Did somebody have a comment?
Could I for a moment?
Yeah.
Are you going to have an actual grenade part of this course, or?
No.
Because I like to yell out grenade in TeamSpeak just so that everybody notices that little red dot is actually death in a moment.
Yes, absolutely let your squad know when you're throwing a grenade out.
Well, let them know when you're throwing near them at the least.
Yeah, if there's a grenade at your feet, let them know, because a split second could be the time to get out of that sphere of death. And
I honestly don't want to hear somebody screaming grenade every time they throw one, but if you're throwing one near friendlies, definitely say it.
Right, as a warning.
All right, so that's good. Now let's say we're moving to the west along this thing, and we come up to this corner here, and there's this area off to the right. There may be enemies over there. Actually, there's an area off to the left, too. How do we get everybody safely across here without getting everybody killed? When we come to a corner like this, like I said, we're going to have somebody covering. I want to have 2 people set up over here, right on the corner. We could probably have another guy watching the area over to the left, just making sure it's clear over that direction. So we move up and we set up cover here, and then the squad moves across while that cover's sitting there. So you're all going to come across over to Atrix. Now, when we get over to the opposite side, we've still got 2 guys stranded over there. So on the other side, you're going to set up cover for them coming back across. Once we're set up over here, then the rest of the guys can come across. And that should get us across safely. Now, I've done this without even really telling everybody what's going on a couple times. We were running as a squad trying to stay together and moving towards a capture point or something. And you wouldn't believe how many kills you could get setting up cover for people, especially in a situation like this. They normally don't see you on the corner. What they see is a whole group of people sprinting across. And they say, holy crap, look at all these awesome free kills I'm about to get. They'll come running out from their cover. They'll get right out in the open. They'll open fire. And you're just going to be sitting there, kneeled down, ready to pick them off. It's beautiful how many kills you'll get being the cover guy. So please cover as much as you can. Okie doke. Let's see. So we did move it across an intersection. Last but not least is hallways. Let me see if I can find a building with a good hallway. This works in here. If you want to come out to Atrix here. When we're moving into a building and we've got a hallway, there is one in here. These stairs count as a long hallway, things like that. What you're going to want to do is set people up on both sides of the wall. And when you're moving through the wall, you're going to want to look diagonally forward. If I'm on the right, I'm going to look diagonally forward to the left. And on the opposite side, you're going to look the other way. And as we move down this hall, what this is going to allow us to do is when we get to the very end here, you can see it. By the time you get to the end of the hall, you're already covering the far corner. And so if there was somebody hiding way over here, you'd see him right when you come around the corner, and you'd be able to get shots off on him. He wouldn't have a lot of time to react, so that'd be pretty good. So the front guys in line definitely want to look that direction. If you're in the back, you could either pick a spot on the wall, you could come down the middle of the hallway, and we should have people watching our back as well. If you're near the back of the group, you should always be turning around and trying to walk backwards. So that's how we do hallways. Once we clear this room out down here, we're going to go up the steps, so let's move around, and that's going to be another hallway. Somebody should cover this door as the squad's in there. And remember, try to work as a group. And then we move up this way. All right, we're going up the steps. Corner's clear. Setting up cover on the doorway. So you get the general idea. Okay, so that's hallways. Pretty easy. Any questions about any of this stuff so far?
Yeah, I noticed over by the corner, there's a door back there in the other hallway off to my left. Covering that, would it be the center people?
Well, what I'm going to say is use your brain. Like I said before, when we're moving through installations, none of this is going to be perfect. There's always going to be enemies coming at us. There's always going to be people getting cut off. The idea is to just be smart to do. If you see something that you think needs to be covered as the group is going by all means, go up and cover it.
Wesley connected.
The squad leader is not going to say, okay, we're coming to an intersection, now cover left and right. Like, this is all going to be automatic. The purpose of this course is to get us thinking this way. So, just use your brain. That's my answer for you.
Because I noticed that was uncovered, so I took it upon myself to actually do that.
Yes, absolutely. That's what needs to happen. Okie doke. Now then, let's see. Another thing I'd like to talk about, well, while we're in this room, let's talk about room defense. Now, when we come up this stairway, we should get in here and we should move along, spread out, move along the different walls based on who's odd or even, spread out among the room when we're clearing out. And when we get the room cleared out, we ought to end up kind of like we are now, with people spread out all over the place. And basically what you ought to do is find a place to cover. Pick the one that's closest to you after we've cleared the room out. And when you're there, just take a quick glance around and make sure everything else is covered. Windows count, stairways count, doorways count. You need people looking back down. This actually looks pretty good right now. I did at one point have this elaborate scheme for setting up cover in a room, and it turns out it's much faster and better just to let everybody make sure all the exits are covered.
Biggest thing I do is just make sure you're not standing in the middle of the room.
Yep, so everybody should pick an exit and cover it, and when you are covering your exit, you should kneel down and stay put. Kneeling improves your accuracy a ton, and standing still is actually way better than moving as well. So if you have a chance to kneel, absolutely do so. And trust your squad mates to cover their own exits. There's no need to turn around. Just keep your sights trained on what you're covering. And last but not least, very important, if you do see an enemy coming, announce contact to the rest of your squad. For example, Atrix over here would say, contact, light assault at the window. But stay put. Don't get up. Don't move. Don't do anything. You're already at an advantage because you're in position ready to fire. They don't know where people are when they're coming right in. And most important of all, if you stand up and start moving around, you're not the only person covering that entrance. You're going to move into somebody's line of fire, and you're going to get shot in the back or block their shot. So staying put when you're covering a room is important. So let's say we just moved in here, captured this alpha point, held the room off, and stayed here till the base got capped. When we move in on a place like this, once we get the cap, you really want to wait for your squad leader to let you know what to do next. Basically, one of three things could happen. Either A, he'll say, hang tight while I figure out what we're doing next, where you'll just continue defending. He'll say, he might say, all right, this is capped, we're going to move out to Bravo Point now. Or he might say, we're getting back to the Sunder, everybody move out. When it comes to getting back to our Sunder, if the base is clear, your squad leader will say, hurry up, back to the Sunday as fast as possible. At this point, everybody sprints. Otherwise, we are moving as a group, going back down the stairway and moving out of here. So let's do that. All right, and we don't have a Sunday up at the moment, but let's just go back outside here.
Do you want me to pull him?
No. As far as getting to the Sunder quickly, another couple of quick things I can mention. Most of the time, we will want the Sunday driver to stick with the Sunday. It's up to you to move it if you're in a bad spot. It's up to you to bring it up closer if we clear the way for you. If it takes a couple shots from an enemy or an engineer, it's up to you to repair it and keep it alive. And when it's time to move out, announce your position. Announce where the Sunday is. Stand outside and tell them that what your squad number is, so people could see you on the map and come to you, just to get us back in there quickly. Forgot about that earlier. So, anyway, back to the squad stuff. When you're moving around a corner, I should have said this before. I want to teach you something they call it pieing a corner, because the shape you make looks kind of like a piece of pie. If the corner is the point, you are the crust. And when you move around a corner, you should move in a semicircle with your sights aimed around the corner. This is going to let you see who's coming out as you come around the corner. So if everybody's watching Atrix and you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch me and see what I'm doing here. That's called pieing a corner, and that's basically the safest way to do it. So if the first guy in line comes up and covers straight ahead for you, the second guy can pie around and see, So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so we did that. We did building defense. Do I have anything else here? Let's see. Whenever we set up in a room for defense, engineers, make sure you're dropping ammo. Also drop a turret in a doorway. Turrets make excellent cover, even if you're not firing them. Enemies cannot shoot through them, so always try to drop a turret. Also for outdoor capture points. This base, I believe everything is pretty much indoors. Bravo's covered. It may not be inside the building per se, but let's go over to the ammo tower. That is to the southeast of this position. We'll pretend that's our outdoor capture point. Now, a lot of outdoor capture points are actually next to a tower. It doesn't look quite like this one, but it is right next to it. When you're covering outdoors, is a little bit different from covering indoors, because instead of having exits to cover, we have a whole lot of empty space. Once again, instead of elaborate setups for figuring out where we need to be, pick a direction, glance around, and look for things that need to be covered. But you're going to want to pick a direction, whether that's a doorway to the south or the big empty area leading up to Bravo from here. Try to find some cover, try to cover that direction, look around, and make sure that everything seems to be covered pretty well. So that's an outdoor capture point. Any other questions or comments? Okay, very good. Go ahead.
Regarding cover or suppression, which pretty much comes down to firing wildly where you think people might be, is that something that you go over, or?
Suppression isn't firing wildly, for one thing.
Well, I know, but
yeah,
you fire it where people are, but not exactly landing hits.
I've sort of found that trying to lay down just like random suppressive fire on an area is sort of a waste of ammo. Wait till they come out. In this game in particular. If you're covering your direction, you may want to pick a doorway just to keep an eye on or something like that. And if you see them come out, I absolutely shoot at them while we're trying to hold a point. Try to keep them from coming out of there. And also, if you see them hiding around a corner or a doorway from this point and you're in grenade range, get a grenade on it. You can take out a couple people that way, because they're going to be doing what we're doing. They're going to be hiding around cover trying to pick us off as we're out here. So. Okay, let's see if there's anything I missed. Open field stuff. Let's do that. Give me a second here. Let's have, this actually worked real well last time when we moved from here down to Mao Tech Plant. So I'm going to set the squad waypoint. Let's say for whatever reason we didn't have a Sunday and we needed to go south.
Dells quit.
So we've got this big open field to cross up here. There's not a lot of cover, and we need to get to Mao Tech Plant. There's two different ways to go. Now let's say we just can't, we cleared out Camp Waterson, there's no enemies here. We know that Mao Tech Plant up ahead is hot, but we know our back is clear. The way to move across a field is to have everybody spread out and form a horizontal line. You don't want to form a column because an enemy hiding over across behind a hill over there is just going to have one spot to aim at. He's be able to just hold down his fire button and light up everybody. So the idea is to spread out and form a horizontal line and move across. We're generally not going to sprint for this because I want people to take the time to look back and forth, look for people hiding behind the hills. And what this is going to do for us is, even though we don't have any cover, what we do have is, 6 people able to fire on one target at the same time. So if somebody happens to pop up over the hill, mark them with your Q button right away. Lots of people are going to see him, and lots of people are going to be able to fire on that position. He could only fire on one of us, so we're at a huge advantage right now. So try to stay spread out so we're not in grenade range. This actually looks really good. Pay attention to the location of your squad mates. Rio, you look like you're falling behind a little bit. Don't be afraid to sprint.
I was moving by out of channel.
So that's cool. So we're moving across. We're keeping our eyes trained on the hills, and we're trying to get to the squad waypoint. So once we get to the squad waypoint, we're going to set up and try to take some cover behind these little hills up here.
It's so counterintuitive to not sprint.
Yes, it is. You will get used to it. All right, so that looks excellent. So we get back here and we take our cover, and we're about to push over the hill and further into the base when all of a sudden platoon leader says, "Holy shit, they wrapped around and they took out Camp Waterson again. They're cutting off the tech plant. We really need to get Camp Waterson back. So, Alpha Squad, I want you to go north and go back to Camp Waterson." Oh shit, well, now we're in a real predicament because we got enemies coming over the hill to the south. We need to go back north, and there's enemies up north as well. So we're wrapped up now. In order to move back across this field, if you want to come up with me, instead of forming one big horizontal line, we want to bunch up a little bit more, and we want to cover our back. Now, we don't want to be at one giant grenade target, but we don't want to be, 100 yards across. It's supposed to look like a wedge, but in practice that's nearly impossible. So if you're on the sides, cover sideways, and if you're in the back, turn around and walk backwards and cover our back. The idea here is 360-degree coverage as we're moving across. If you see a target, call out your direction. That way people know they can turn and shoot. And we move across, try to stay grouped up, and try to cover all directions. So that's for when we're surrounded.
You should never have to look back at the squad to know where the squad is at because you have a mini-map. So you should never have to take your eyes off of your location that you're covering.
All right, so that's pretty much all the stuff we're going to go over specifically. I would like to do this in practice. So we are going to go out with some enemy.
Back on the squad.
Yeah, we're gonna do a real quick once around the base here. We're using everything we learned, and in addition to that, once that's done, I will go over base capture mechanics if anybody wants me to. Some people, at last group I had, everybody knew what was going on already, so it was kind of a waste of time and actually kind of boring. But if you don't know how base capture mechanics works, if you don't know what needs to happen to take down an amp station, we will definitely go over it for you. So please let us know. All right, so what I'd like to do here now, we're all going to group up, and we're going to move out from here, and we're going to move from capture point to capture point. Now, I'm not going to tell us what to do here. It's up to you guys. Make sure when you get to a corner you cover it. Oh, you know what I forgot to talk about, which is really important? We've kind of been doing it already, but I haven't put a name on it. It's called leapfrogging. And some people call it bounding or bounding reach. I like leapfrogging because a lot of people know what leapfrogging means. They have a general idea anyway. And the way that works is when we're moving up in a group and we're sort of out in the open, but we've got some cover, what we're going to want to do is first guy in is going to pick a point of cover. Now, let's say we're trying to move over towards the ammo tower. I'm going to stay here and cover this position. The rest of the group is going to move up and pick a point of cover in front of me. And, well, let me do this as an example of with just two people. It expands pretty well to a group. Rio, do you know? Have you seen in the notes what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, I know. Stop.
All right. Well, let's have everybody stand off to the side here and pay attention to me and you, and then we can show them how that works. So let's say we're moving up from where we started before, and we're going to move up to the ammo tower. So I'll go first. Basically, the way it works is I'm going to come up and cover for Rio as he moves forward. And now he's got a spot, so I'm going to move up to the next point of cover, and I'm going to cover here, and now he's going to go again. And then I could come up and cover here, maybe, and then he could come up, and now he's up on the capture point. So that's the way leapfrogging works. When you're doing it as a larger group, if you're the first person in line, pick a spot of cover. When you think you're about the last person in line, that's your chance to move up. And the most important thing is to get in front of the group and take up a new position. Don't just stop where somebody else is already. Any questions, anyone?
Should you sprint from place to place or just jog?
In a case like this, definitely sprint up to your next point of cover.
It depends on just how open you are.
Yeah. So let's try that again. We're all going to meet up on Atrix. We're going to come around this corner, and we're going to leapfrog our way up to that ammo tower. All right, and I guess I'll start it out. All right, I'm moving towards the back now, so Atrix is moving up. I did not crash. And in this fashion, now with the group, this speeds things up a bit because we got cover, and going from the back all the way to the front, I started covering dead last, and I got all the way up to the point because everybody had things covered. So that moves us up pretty quickly.
You should be moving past the army.
Yep.
Don't stop on top people. You're either moving or sitting at a new spot.
Yep, make sure you're moving past the first person. So that looked okay. So that's leapfrogging. I've gone over everything briefly. Like I said, all this stuff, we're not going to say, okay, now it's time to leapfrog when you're out in the middle of a hot battle. Stuff needs to be automatic. Just think on your toes. Make sure you're covering people. And move as a group and get from point A to point B safely.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Pretty much any orders you should be expected to hear from your squad leader is move to Alpha, or group up, or moving from where you're at to Alpha. You should see where you need cover and everything.
Absolutely. Now, squad leader's definitely not going to be the first person in line all the time. It could be anybody. It could be you. And like I said, you should never be in front for long. So, as Rio said, practice can make perfect. We're going to do just that. Right now, I'm going to set our target. Primary target is Bravo point. We're going to start moving up there. Alpha Squad, move to Bravo. I'm not telling you how to do it. Let's just make it happen.
Ellenberg connected.
All right, we don't want to go upstairs here.
Yeah, just so you guys are knowing, I was covering this door just in case somebody came out of it. Bravo's the other direction.
So we wouldn't want to go in behind the buildings? We want to go straight to the courtyard?
Depends.
It just depends on the situation.
Every base is going to be different. We're not going to have a predefined route ever. So the point is that wherever we're moving and however we're moving, we're doing it smartly and we're covering things and getting everybody there in one piece.
And this is an odd one.
Atrix down. Atrix down. Set up cover.
When you flies down, you hold cover.
Yep. Move back to Atrix and set up cover and let the medics get him up. Medics are a prime target. He will be taking fire. You need to cover him. Okay. Atrix is up. Let's keep moving.
That's one of the biggest problems I run into as a medic is there's never... Usually when there's a dead guy, there's bullets on the other end. If that makes sense.
Now, Atrix, I know I'm the only light assault that's live, but when you go down and you call for cover, it makes sense as a light assault to get high ground, stay behind cover, and cover the top.
Yep,
That
that's
light,
absolutely fine.
that class takes advantage of its jetpack, as long as it doesn't go like too far away.
Now, if we're trying to stay real quiet, just be careful with that because we don't want to give away our position, but most of the time, yeah, absolutely go high.
Atrix, can I ask a silly question?
Go right ahead.
How did you get Beta Point to be marked like this?
200 cert points.
Yep.
Into what's the cert?
Squad lead.
Yeah, it's in the leadership certs. I forget exactly what it's called.
It's how much? Oh, it's only 30. Never mind. That's the other one.
Squad
pretty
objectives?
Squad objectives, yeah.
Okay,
I have that cert.
reinforcements.
How do you activate it?
Q button over a capture point.
Okay, that is good to know.
All right, thank you.
All right,
I like
so
it.
Bravo's capped. We're going to move to Alpha now. Let's move out to Alpha.
Now, where are you guys going? Just gonna jump down.
Remember, you shouldn't move from your cover until the last guy moves ahead of you.
And
Well-
don't go into the building till we're all here.
Not necessarily. If there's
Hey, dude.
a few people in front of you setting up
Someone's
cover
coming.
already, feel free to move up because that'll help us move a little faster as well.
You can go right.
Don't go running upstairs by yourself.
Yeah.
Got the room taken here, then we're gonna move.
I keep trying to move with more cover. It's a hard habit to break.
Make sure we're watching to the left as we cross this area here.
Grenade going in.
Now, keep an eye on the map. Make sure everybody's around you before you get ready to push into a room.
Let's clear this ground floor before we go up. And we'll go up these back steps.
Should we clear the first floor and then move everyone up to the second floor, or?
Yep. One floor at a time.
And in a building like this, if you're on the stairs, make sure you go and at least take a peek at the roof. We're already at our capture point, but just want to make sure there's not a bunch of people up there. Alright, so we've all moved in. We're on the point. Everybody's spread out and covering something. That looks real good. I see people kneeling down. This is beautiful. So, see, this is great. This is how it works. Everybody just uses their brain, thinks about the rest of your squad, and covers for everyone. And it works really well in practice. We'll do one more. We're going to move back to C. I want to move down along the building south and then over to C. So let's move
Alright.
out.
And try not to sprint too much, especially when we're in the buildings. You shouldn't be sprinting.
Don't need to sprint like that, pressure, especially when you're lead.
Let's move across here, Dick.
We're going to C, guys.
Yep, we are going to Charlie.
If you're not holding a position, you need to be moving.
I suppose moving across the middle wasn't ideal.
No, we should have stuck out on the outside on the walls. Been a little easier.
That was my bad.
That's all right, though. As we do this more, we will get better.
No, it's
We're
just
doing-
instinct
we're doing-
thing.
Yep, we're doing real well.
Doors.
So,
Made in, sick.
one thing I see, anybody's covering for me to get across.
You'll be fine.
You're clear, real.
Just saying.
That's fine, and that's the kind of stuff we need to hear too.
Sword core connected.
If
I
you
was
need cover,
covering you to get across.
if you need
No,
cover,
I didn't see you
if
then.
you see somebody, you know.
It's because I cover like a badass.
Alright, clear the bottom floor before we go up. Leave somebody on the stairs.
Bottom
and hold
floor is clear.
Yep.
Balcony is clear. Top floor is clear. All right, awesome. So, seems like
Ow.
we're definitely getting it. So, who wants to take this strategy and go blow up some Vanu?
My favorite people to love.
Could I ask a question first?
Sure.
Of course.
When we go up a staircase like this one, should someone be looking behind them as they go up, since the enemy can be facing us as we go up the stairs?
Yes.
Light assault. I can just jetpack the bottom of the stairs, facing the back, and get up there to cover you while you go up the stairs.
The first person going up be looking forward. The second person behind them should be looking up to their side, watching everything else.
If your question revolves around anything, if it sounds anything like, should I be covering that? The answer is almost certainly yes.
Thank you, Magic 8 Ball.
All right, so that looks good. Let's take this to the enemy. Let's go to... Where would I like to go?
Atrix, my computer, my games keep crashing on me.
All right, no problem.
You're
Just
not
hop
in
and,
here, toilet.
I'm trying to get in, but my games keep crashing like 3 times already.
All right, well, keep trying, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, my point is that we've already done all the training.
We're going into simulation. Or
Yes.
actually real combat.
Before we do that, is there anyone who would like to go over base capture mechanics? What gets captured first? How different things work?
It depends on the base, but I'll say biolabs. You always want to go in, move to the shield gen room first, take it down, then the SCU.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'll go over it very quickly, just so we're all on the same page. I'm sure most of you know how the shield gens and stuff like that work, but I'd like to go over the order of the way things should fall. If everybody would look at their map for a moment, and we will look at, let's do an amp station first. In the northwest, there's the Haka amp station. If everybody would please look at that on your map for a moment. First of all, at any of these bases, you're going to have, and I'm going to use squad waypoint to show you this stuff. There's going to be these auxiliary bases. They're around app stations, they're around biolabs, tech plants. These are important to cap because you get a place to spawn in, even if you don't have a sunder. Every one of these gives you a place to spawn. Most of them will also give you a vehicle pad, and depending on where you're at, you might get a jump pad or a teleporter or something. So for the amp stations, you definitely want to have them just so you have a place to spawn in. Once those are taken, there's a couple different shields. Every amp station is laid out the same. They kind of make a pentagon with the walls like this. And if
Question.
you notice, go ahead.
So we are still on Indar, right?
We are in Indar, yes. Now, if you
Doc
notice,
Toilet, we're in the middle of the training right now. We're not going to have anybody joining partway through, but we will be continuing it further lessons either next week or at another time. So I'm just going to move you down to Infantry Squad if you're looking to actually do some killing.
all right, so if you take a look at the walls, this part that juts out the one end, that's normally
Dock left.
in the south. Every once in a while it'll be spun around, but a lot of these amp stations are the same way. So when
Dock
they're laid
joined.
out like this, you're going to have a couple different things we need to capture. First are the tank shields. Those are up in the corners here. They open up the tank shields, which are in these areas over here. So we need to get them down so we can get our armor in. After that, we've got the shield generators for the main building. They're located down in these areas over here on the southern, east, and west sides. Oh. And once they go down, we go into the main building. That's where the
Kick left.
capture point is. And we've got
Dock left.
another shield generator for the SCU room. So we take them down. That's all up on the second floor. And then in the basement is the SCU. So that's an amp station in a nutshell. Anybody have any questions?
Dock joined.
No, but can I chime in? Oh, go ahead, Rio.
Let's say the big thing on the tech plants, or not tech plants, the amp stations, that I've made sure my squads always do it. You got to, especially when you're going for the generators, you got to clear the wall before you go down and try to take anything inside the base. If you don't clear that wall, you get shot from above the whole time.
Yep, that's a good point as well.
That's what I was going to. You become a walking target. It's a wide open space
Kick
to
joined.
get to the generators.
Now, when you're moving as a single squad as part of a larger platoon and you're doing focused operation stuff like we're talking here, what will generally happen is
Roll
we'll be
left.
given a point,
Kick left.
and we'll always be moving towards our squad waypoint, and generally either hold that or move on to the next waypoint as your squad leader dictates. So you won't have to worry about too much stuff. Just be aware of how it works. And we'll tell you where you need to be as we go along. So
What does SU stand for?
SCU is the Squad Control, or Spawn Control Unit.
Spawn control unit.
And what that does is, once you destroy it, the enemy is unable to spawn in that base anymore. So that's really the most important part of any
Not
base
dual
capture,
times
is to
out.
take that SCU down. Now, like I said, once we get into the main building, you can't get to the SCU right away. You need to go upstairs and take out the generator, and that will bring down the last set of shields around the SCU. So,
I noticed that on the force fields themselves, on the shields themselves, they usually have an icon, whether it's a tank or horizontal lines or vertical lines. And then you'll also have that same matching icon with the shield around it, where the shield is to kill that kind of shield.
yes, absolutely. If you pay attention to that, the same. If you look at the shield you want to take down, it'll have a big icon on it, and that same icon is over the generator that
joined.
controls that. So,
Dock left. Rope joined.
okie doke. So that's amp stations. If we look over to the
Click
right
connected.
at the Mao tech plants are a little bit different now than they were a week ago, but they work in roughly the same manner. If we're all looking at Mao on the map, I'm going to start setting squad waypoints. These buildings out are your auxiliaries. They will give you a spawn point and a vehicle pad in
Not
those
dual
cases,
connected.
so you're going to want them. Once those are done, in the Mao tech plant in particular, we were here the other day, so I could tell you that the next thing you want to do is take down the main building shield generators. This used to be inside the building, and it used to be like a giant meat grinder trying to get in there, but they've changed it. I believe one building, and this is just for Mao, this will change, but I believe one of the shield generators is down in this building, and I believe the other one is up in this building. For Mao
I
tech plant.
can't confirm it's different for everyone because some of the tech plants, usually there is that first one you mark, there's usually one there, but I've seen them on the where the front shield is. I've seen them on that side of the base also.
Okay. Yeah, so just bear in mind the shield to take down the main doors on a tech plant is no longer inside. It is out, spread around the base somewhere. So first we take the auxiliary points, then we take down the main shields. Now we can get into the building. Now what's in the building? On the second floor center,
joined.
I believe
Blue
there
joined.
is still a capture point, one single capture point for the base. That's right in the middle of the second floor. And then underneath the round end up here is another generator. That's the SCU generator. So that's even more important than the spawn point, or the capture point rather. You want to take that SCU generator down, and once that's down, the spawn control unit is here. And we got to move outside of the building to take the SCU down, and that will stop people from spawning in the main spawn building, which is almost always here.
And
Any
another
questions?
change they did, this main spawn building does not teleport to the tech plant anymore, so they actually have to, unless they have a sunder in the tech plant, they actually have to run from that building to the tech plant now.
So that's the tech plant. Anybody have any questions?
I'll be back in a minute.
Okie doke. Last but not least is the biolab. We're going to look at Rashnu Biolab to the on the eastern side of the map. If everybody wants to look over there. Rashnu is pretty typical for a biolab. You've got some auxiliary bases, and you've got the main big building in the center. Now, for biolabs, perhaps more than any place else, the auxiliary bases are extremely important. Can anybody tell me why?
Teleport to.
And that's how you get into the biolab.
Yes. And what happens if you're in the biolab and an enemy takes an auxiliary point?
You have no way out.
No. They can get in.
Yes, the enemy's got a way in if they take them back. So, for biolabs, the auxiliaries are extremely important, even more so than any other place.
Something I'd like to say about the auxiliaries also, if you are driving this under, if it's possible, always deploy it next to the teleport building. You don't want people having to run far away to get back into the biolab if they die.
All right.
Is there a point inside the biolab for whoever currently holds it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you got your 3 auxiliaries. In some biolabs, underneath the pads, and I believe Rashnu is one of them as well, there are gravity lifts. These are not always here, so do not depend on them, but I believe they are at Rashnu. And in addition to that, on the ground underneath the biolab in the very center, if the shields are down, there is a teleporter in there that will take you all the way up to the top center inside the biolab.
Actually, it won't. That teleporter stays with the lab owner.
Gotcha, okay. But that is where that's located, and if you're defending...
That's
you
where
can go
their
up and down
vehicle
from there.
spawns are from.
Okie doke. So that's the layout. So basically what you want to do for a biolab is get in here. The platoon will send squads to the individual auxiliary points and cap them. Once we have them, we'll make sure we have a Sunday park near a teleporter at one of these auxiliaries and start going in. And I believe that building's probably a teleporter building right there. And the way these work, that will send you up into the biolab, and usually it'll send you to the side nearest the teleport you're taking. So let's say this teleporter will take you here, and let's say the teleporter over here will probably take you to this side of the base somewhere. Sometimes it's not completely obvious, but this is generally the way it works. And same thing for the south here. Another note, a lot of these auxiliaries also have jump pads, and they take you right up to the air pads on 2 sides of the base here. So sometimes we'll use them. I've been finding that they bug out a lot and don't work, so I pretty much ignore jump pads at this point and send people to the teleporters, but they will take you to the pad. Alright, so you teleport in, and what do you find? You'll end up in a secure room inside the biolab with friendly shields around it. And if you're attacking, that place will almost certainly be surrounded by enemies. So when we get into the biolab, we need to go in and group up inside the building and not move out until we get everybody up there. And we got to burst out through that doorway and try to wipe out the enemies in the area. There's really no really super tactical way to do it besides group up together, go out at once, wreck as many people as you can, and secure the area. So once that's done, you're going to find a shield generator up there. That's going to take down the shield for the SCU, which is right in the middle. Once you take down the SCU right in the middle, there will be 3 capture points. Take the capture points, capture the base. Any questions?
Are you saying that SEU is a top priority?
The
In a
SCU
biolab,
is
it always
a
is.
top priority.
Alrighty, just making sure.
The
William
other
Taft
bases to
connected.
use are kind of side priorities because they don't spawn inside the base, but the biolabs, they spawn inside the base, so it's a top priority.
Right. Alright, thanks.
Yeah, in any assault with me anyway, I will always, almost always have SCUs more important than anything else. Once they
I
go
can see
down,
that,
it's
yeah.
a lot easier to defend or to hold your position because you don't have waves of enemies coming out anymore.
And Mark first connected.
Let me restate what I said then. In the biolabs, it's necessary to cap the biolab. You have to take out the SCU. The other ones, it's not necessary to take it, but it helps.
Yes, exactly.
I've got a
Alright.
com as well.
Go ahead.
I just, whenever I was fighting,
And Mark
running
first
around
quit.
biolabs, sometimes when you get killed, you'll get a Sunderer in the center of the biolab. Do not spawn at that Sunderer because he has parked his Sunderer deployed in the vehicle pads. And when you leave the vehicle pads, you run into all of the enemy that have spawn vehicles.
Yes.
It's just a meat grinder there. If you're an infantry and don't go underneath the biolab, there's nothing good for you there.
The bottom of the biolab seemed kind of silly to me.
Yeah, that's a horrible place for a Sunderer. You really, unless you're going to park at one that happens to have these jump pads, the gravity lifts on underneath each pad, the air pad. That's an okay place for a Sunderer, but Sunderers really ought to be out at one of the auxiliary bases. Don't ever bring your Sundy in the middle.
So what's next?
Any other questions or comments on large base capture? Alright, I think we're good to go. That's about all I've got. I flew through this today, maybe even a little faster than I wanted to, but that's alright. Since we've got extra time, I would definitely like to move out and do some actual teamwork in a hot area against the enemy. How's that sound?
I have a quick question. It has nothing to do with capturing a large base, but it's more like with our comms. Like when I first started in the outfit, we were like separated into Com, Bravo, Alpha, and stuff like that. And now it seems like we're all like bunched together. Sometimes it gets a little confusing
Quit.
when I'm getting orders thrown all over from different squads. I was wondering, is there a reason we're doing that now, or?
There's no specific geotech address.
In most cases, we should be splitting up. I mean, it depends on how the squad is started and what it's evolved into. Like, if somebody starts a small squad, they're not typically a squad leader. They're probably going to let that turn into a platoon and keep everybody in the same channel. I myself will never let that happen. If I'm in charge and I decide to make a platoon and everybody's getting in separate channels and working as independent squads. Also, for the next couple weeks, we really shouldn't be running in large platoons because we're working on this squad stuff. And even if it's not a training squad, the general idea is we should have people working in smaller units and working on teamwork. And then after a couple weeks goes by, we're going to start doing large platoons again and bring everybody together and end up with a platoon with, like 2 good infantry squads working independently but on like a single base, and then we'll have like the armor and Charlie wrapping around and killing stuff, and then we'll have like the air squad typically, and squad leaders will work together to coordinate their squads, and the squad members will pretty much not worry about the other squads, but they will listen to their squad leader and be working towards a common goal, even if whether they know it or not. So
No, okay, cool. I mean, that's the setup I always liked. I mean, that makes the game a lot more funner, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
nope, go ahead.
I think what Black's referring to is the mass chaos that I ran around with yesterday, where we really did just start as like 5 people, and then people started coming on, and I kind of accidentally took over, and we just never ended up separating out. We didn't really have enough. It really depends on who started the squad. Like somebody who's got a lot more leading experience, like Atrix, would obviously start separating people out, but there's no way I could have commanded 2 different squads at the same time.
No, I wasn't pointing any fingers, man.
No.
Oh, I don't care.
Honestly, guys, it's up to us NCOs and officers to make sure those squads split up. Last night there just wasn't too many NCOs on for most of that, and but it's up to us to make sure you guys split up when it gets that big.
Yeah, that is the expectation, though, and if you'd like to see that, I mean, and you got a non-standard squad leader, say, hey, would you mind if we split this up? Or say, hey, would you mind if, I took Bravo squad and we hopped down a channel,
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for answering my question.
Yep, feel free to volunteer for that stuff. We could always use help. Let me tell you, for myself personally, it's fun to lead a squad, but there are days where I would like to sit back and do what somebody's telling me to do. There's definitely those days. So if anybody ever wants to step up or do anything that's helpful, you don't need to be an officer to lead a squad. Just let us know you'd like to do it.
What kind of certs should you go for before you start trying to lead squads? I know that there's marking objectives on the map. Is there anything else that you should get to make the whole thing go a lot easier?
Yeah, the only thing we really want anybody to have that we want them to have if they're going to want to run squads is the spawn beacon. That's the only one that really is a big difference maker in certain situations.
Yeah, it's kind of neat to be able to set up offensive and defensive requests. That actually shows to the entire empire. So, like, I could put an icon right now on Mao Tech Plant, and people will see that and start coming there from the warp gate. That's cool. That's helpful to get the Zerg moving with your squad or platoon. Not, by all means, it's not a necessary thing for running a squad, but I mean, beyond well, let's talk about what else there is. Beyond the beacon, there's also smoke you could drop. I found that that's actually very nice for getting an enemy sunder to bug out, because the enemies can see the smoke, and if you drop yellow smoke on them, they'll be like, oh shit, I need to get out of here, and they might actually pick up and bug off. Besides that, you can get that cert for marking the capture point objectives with your Q button. That's pretty helpful sometimes.
But
yeah.
That smoke can be seen on your map when it's deployed?
Data quit.
You can see it on the map. It's a little hard to see. I'll put it south of Charlie right here. I'll put some green smoke down there.
It's when you're in the when you're not looking at the map, this thing goes well up to 500 meters. Like, come outside and look up.
Yep. You can't see it on the mini map, but you can see it on the main map, or at least I could see it on the main map. Could you guys see it on the main map?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
I bought it. It really helps with not having to use like a squad waypoint to direct people around.
We've started using it for air
close
marked
combat.
liberator targets.
Oh, that's great.
So can you just use the map to pit smoke wherever, or do you have to throw it, or
That's how it works.
you throw it?
The map.
No, it's the
Oh,
map.
it's the map. Okay. So you can put them up and take them down at will.
So we could actually use that, like he said, to mark like targets for liberators and stuff like that, right?
Specialist
Yes.
Shark joined.
I believe it's a 3-minute cooldown on smoke. If Atrix wanted to confirm that.
I honestly don't know for sure.
Try to set another one green.
I set another green one, yeah.
All right, so let's go do some practice. If you have any more questions about leading a squad, I can talk to you later after the thing. But let's go do some stuff. I'm going to deploy to Amherst to McCullough Tech Plant. Once I get there, everybody ought to be able to hit insert and come to me.
Would an engineer like to have an ammo pack?
Atrix.
Yes.
On Charlie.
Can I participate as well?
You sure can. Let me make the squad public again if we've got room.
I'm in.
Don't
I'm
have
in.
room.
I'm in.
Oh, you are in.
I've been shooting
I'm
teammates
number
when I'm out of
12.
ammo.
Is the basic training open?
The training is we're doing practical stuff though now.
Yep.
Actual combat.
Well, you said the squad was full and I wanted to get in, and I wouldn't mind getting a bite to eat.
No, I was in. There was one spot left, and I took it
Atrix is at Macaulay.
off the open.
Yeah, you will get credit now, but I would like to do some more. If you have to leave now, you will get credit for the course, but if you can stick around, we're going to do some practice. All right.
Going deep on the thing.
We've got some heavy enemy air over McCalla. We're going to have to back off a little bit. I got a beacon up, but it's probably not going to last.
Yeah, that's life. Just gonna go grab some lunch. I'll be back here in a little bit.
Yeah, it didn't take me long to die here at McCullough.
Oh god.
I got an
that's why.
entire serve doing the course.
All right,
Just for my
we're going to
supplies.
fall back to Araxicom substation. I'm going to update the squad waypoint right now.
Holy cow, there's a lot of liberators.
Yeah, you don't want to be around. I'm already down.
Where's the way?
Araxicom substation. We're meeting up here. Who's going to be my Sunday
Takes
driver
pulling an
today?
AA max.
Is that still you, Blue?
I'll drive to Sunday.
All right.
Yeah, where?
If you could
Slayer,
get us
talk
on
to
first.
Mike.
Where are we
Paramedic.
supposed to be?
Araxicom substation. We're
Oh, I
moving
couldn't
to the
pull
vehicle
this Sunday
pad.
actually.
Alright, takes in his
That's
AA
not
max.
the vehicle pad. Vehicle pad is up here.
Oh my god, the liberators.
All right,
that looks
will.
glitched.
I'll pull one for you. You can drive it.
I can get one. I can get one.
Who's that?
Shark.
Okay. Let's have Shark pull
True
one.
O connected.
Be
We're
careful.
gonna need
They may have
more
just-
engineers.
Tick,
'Cause I'm
I've
gonna
never
need
been more
ammo.
had to see a burster max in my life.
We're still
I'm gonna
in
need
there,
ammo
right?
badly.
All right. Go ahead and deploy that thing. We're gonna switch
Hey,
into
we're still in
our.
there, yeah.
No, we are on Amherst. Hit your insert button. You had to drop right on us.
Yeah, I did that.
Let's switch into our classes. Like I said, I want two heavy. I want two burster maxes. I want 3 engineers, one being the driver. I want a couple medics, which we've already got, and everybody else should be light or heavy assault.
Are we
So
Take
firing
ammo.
there?
I should be engineer.
Say again. Driver should
I'm
be
the
engineer.
driver. I should be engineer.
Yes.
Okay.
Grasher, can you drop some ammo for Tick?
All right.
Bank is connected.
Plan B. We got a ton of enemy air coming in. Get a heavy assault or an engineer if you can.
Enemy armor
Or,
to east.
I mean a burster max. Been talking for so
All right,
long.
Oh,
take
we're
cover.
definitely losing it bad.
We can't ride this in a hot zone.
Yeah, I want to do someplace where we can push. Looks like we're pushing up into Vanu pretty
We
good.
got armor and everything coming in on us.
All right, fall back to Warp Gate. We'll get a Galaxy and move out.
Yeah,
See how many people I can take with me.
That feel.
I'm out of ammo.
I'll pull the gas.
Sorry.
Bank is
It's
joined.
okay.
Ah, finally got taken.
It's DVS we're up against right now.
Which doesn't mean it's up a bunch of people.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of them.
Third rush!
Gale's right in
Let's
front
keep
at the
the
warp
high
gate.
pitched screaming to a minimum, please.
Yeah.
Let's, if you're not dead yet, please redeploy at the Warp Gate. We're going to move.
Switch back to your combat roles now.
Can I join in, or are you guys far down the road?
We're full. And, yeah, training way too far down.
Roger that. I'll drop.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, well, you're in here. Hey, you can go. We're just going to go practice some of the stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't want to mess up thing. If you guys
That's up to Atrix.
We're all full. Okay. I kind of want to avoid NC for now. We'll move through some Vanu stuff. So we're going to go to Deserted Mine Shaft for now. We're going to swing by the amp station and see how that's looking. I think we're losing it right now, so we may go defend that. Everybody in the Sunday, please. Or not the Sunday, the
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
So one person.
Do you want air escort?
We don't have feed.
Sure.
That we're good.
Alright. Couple in the air.
Who am I missing besides 8?
Feed.
Black.
Phoebe is in here.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
this
it's
is
shut.
not full anymore, is it?
No, we're missing 6. And
There's 11 people in the squad. We're fine.
Okay. You got that, Mossy? We're moving out.
Roger that.
Yeah, if you could, once we get close to the amp station up there, if you can have a swing by and look and see what that looks like. Whether
Will do.
defend there or go move north of there.
Are you ascending the ceiling?
I'll be pretty high by the time I get over there.
Sounds good.
Alright, just like a Sunder, if you're not in a gunner seat, 6, 7, 8's looking left, 9, 10, 11 is looking right.
Roger.
I'm going to level off around 800 meters.
Roger, 800 meters.
Do have enemy EFSs below us. They haven't seen us yet.
Yep.
Do not fire upon anything that doesn't come after you.
Yep.
There's no cover in the air.
There is no TR air on this continent, it doesn't look like.
Now do we have most of the continents?
I don't know how, they've just started attacking Amherst or something, because they have 64% population according to my thing here.
Yeah, we are losing the amp station. What I'm going to do is bring us down on the pad. Maybe. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and take a swing through there. Let me know if they got a lot of air in amp station right now.
Roger that. Two liberators so far.
Are they down?
3 liberators.
Alright, what I'm going to do is actually...
Pad appears and... We actually have friendly arrowhead.
Okay. Now we're going to land on the pad. And we're going to take this back. When we get to the pad, there's going to be an elevator there going down. That's our way in.
I suggest an airdrop on the pad. They have decimators.
And there's an enemy lighting.
Just like a quick hover.
I would suggest going around to the backside, not going down the elevator here. The backside will take us right on top of them if they're on the objective.
Everybody out, everybody out. I'm ditching the gal, so.
Alright, follow Rio. Cover. We're not going down there. We're not going down there, guys. Come back. Come back. We're going to go around to the backside.
We're getting shot.
Just keep moving around to the backside.
I got a beacon down for us.
I've been shot.
Alright, let's go get him.
Everybody get up here. We're going these stairs together.
Who's dead?
Right up.
Don't say you've
Oh,
been
I'm
shot.
down. Hurt. There's a sniper somewhere.
Alright, let's go.
Fine. Let's get inside.
I see the sniper. I'm getting.
Alright, we're not wait till everybody gets here.
Yep, we're going to go down the elevator together.
Alright, let's go, guys.
I fell off. I'm going to have to go around.
There's 2 turrets looking at
Oh, shit.
Fall to the sides. Take cover up around the sides. Grenades on that position.
It's clear.
Spectacular. Let's
Gunner
cover
down.
this.
Look at
Medics.
Shark.
We got
Feed
medics
is
up.
down.
Medics get people up. Engineers.
Army's down.
Cover this
Engineers
position.
needs
Medics.
to be,
Shark up.
One
They did
coming
not
up on the
prepare
south
you.
side.
I'm
Good
down
job,
by the
guys.
teleports.
Steve, we got you.
Contact north end.
Pick him up,
Steps,
pick
he's
him
down.
up. 2 guys to the elevators.
Stay here, guys. I'll get you.
Tix
Once
Mossy
an
was
engineer's
down.
up, go get the generator up, please.
Yep, SCU gen needs to come up, and then we need to get the SCU up.
Ammo down beside the point.
Guys, do you realize
I'm
how
watching the...
badly we just messed them up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that worked so well. That was ridiculous.
SCU's up.
Get the SU shield generator up is the one we needed to get up first, guys.
We must be hacking.
Yeah, that was because I got down to my Mossy. That's the only reason I'm down here.
All right.
I'm
There's an
going to
engineer up
check.
top. We need to get this shield up here repaired.
All right,
Gen, I'll repair it now.
Yeah, all right. Cover.
My bad for not doing
Infiltrator
it
to
straight
east.
away.
He's hiding in
Come
those
on.
cargo containers.
we're holding this
I'm
top
gonna
floor.
hold this to you until they repair it.
Two infiltrators to the east in the cargo containers.
Enemy lightning northwest of waypoint, 100 meters. It's now in the building.
It's out of the
It
building,
just drove straight through.
but it's looking towards us.
Yeah.
He's back in,
He's back in. Take cover.
Anti-tank mines are down.
To be connected.
There's still more enemy lightning to the northwest, right outside the door.
I see a lightning to the northeast.
Shields back up.
All right, we got all this stuff repaired.
SCU's clear. We need to hold this until we clear up these enemies attacking us.
All right, engineers,
Two,
what I
three,
need
I
you
can
to do is go get our shields repaired.
Push the advantage.
Everybody else is going to hold here.
Roger
Copy.
that.
Alright,
Pushing
I
Western
need
shield
some
first.
guys with me.
Stop, stop, stop.
Rio's down that point.
Alright, tanks down.
Gotcha, Rio.
We should have reses at will.
Lightning down.
If medics are
Yeah,
here,
I
wait for a
killed
res.
one, but the debris of it killed me.
Combat medics, you need to stay back out of the line of fire, please.
Copy.
I'm gonna use the spawn beacons, come for me.
We've successfully defended the facility.
Tick is at the Western shield.
All right, get that ripped up. Once that's ripped up, we will come out to help you.
Enemy infantry northeast. Enemy infantry northeast.
Visual on hostile light assault trooper. Eyes on hostile light assault trooper. Eyes on hostile light assault trooper.
Western shield is up.
Good job.
Excellent.
Moving
All
towards
right.
center, then to Eastern shield.
Let's get a
Squad
Sunder
waypoint.
spawn down here.
Yep, let's get a Sunday up, and we're going to start moving towards the squad waypoint to that other shield and help get
Get
that
the
up.
Sunday deployed here under the objective, and then we'll move out.
There's a lightning waiting outside of the western
Specialist for
exit.
sharp left.
All right, we're not going that way. Don't worry about it.
There were a whole bunch of them in the cargo containers to the northeast of where I
Did anybody spawn a Sunday, or do I need to?
They got a light right outside our shield.
I'll
Go
spawn it.
ahead, Rio.
I'm just gonna back it right back up in there.
Let's keep moving up towards the waypoint, folks.
Hensel northeast.
Sunday's deployed.
All
I need
right,
someone to clear
shield
this door for
building
me
is
so I can
clear.
move in and repair. After that, I'm on the shield.
Covering west. All right, next objective is set. We're going to the tank shield. Contact. He's down. Watch this tower to the right. I'm hearing some shots.
He's down.
Behind us. He's down.
One coming from near the shield.
Army, move up.
He's down.
I'm on my way.
All right, let's.
Thank you for the cover.
North side, there's one.
Lightning,
Tank coming in.
One on the north is down. Spread out, guys. Spread out with the tank. Don't let him run us
Ammo
over.
down in the
Kill us.
middle.
One shot. And we wrecked him. All right, let's get in here and rep this thing. Everybody alive?
You get that shield gen up. That sight.
Sight in the air.
Get small arms fire on him. He'll bug out.
Yeah, he's already at half health. I got a flash here also. That means somebody just dropped off of it.
Ammo down at number 8.
Alright.
FYI, an entire squad of infantry can generally take down a small aircraft faster than a Burster Max. All right, let's get in this building. Cover this building.
Sit up here, Thebe.
Covering the wall.
Lots of light to the west.
He's out of range. He's not heading
Yeah,
towards
he
us.
moved.
Alright, Blue, you're gonna have to take over as
Got
NG.
Mag Rider from far west.
Contact.
What was that?
Alright, I'm gonna have you take over as doing all the NG stuff because my kid's starting to scream again. So I'm gonna call it. Thanks to the training, gentlemen.
Thank you, Rio.
Thank you.
I think I have to go now too.
Compromised.
All right.
I see.
I guess we still got.
Mag Rider to the west.
Can I get a volunteer to switch to engineer for us?
Right, let's move up to the next shield generator up here, guys, to the north.
You guys are gonna need to find an engineer first.
We're losing both our internal
Our
shields. We're
generator.
going south. We're going
Going down.
southwest.
Okay.
I'm off for now, guys. See ya.
And we need to move. Keep your eyes peeled, but we are moving
Blue
quick.
left.
Yeah, it's going pretty.
2 heavy tanks
Kick
just
left.
in the northwest entrance.
All right, I need to sweep this door, and we need to get this thing. It's not ready to
I'm
blow
going
yet.
in
We
stealth. I'm clearing it. I'm going in stealth. It's clear. I'm getting it.
can. All right, cover Rio.
Mag Rider coming for us.
We got a lib landing west. 1 out of 3.
Stabilized.
Nice work.
All right, we got that one saved.
Lib down. Okay.
Do we have an engineer?
Mag Rider northeast.
We're moving across
We
to
do
the
not have an
other main shield gen.
Generator
Mag Rider,
compromised.
2 Mag Riders to the northeast of us.
All right. Let's.
Let's fall back to inside the base.
Yep. Let's go to inside the base.
Generator destroyed.
That's
Get
our
inside
new
the base. We
objective.
can rearm engineers or whatever we need to do. We got that shield, so we're good.
We got a Mag Rider inside, northeast of the main building.
Just respawn on the the Sunday if he died there.
Generator compromised.
Get in.
Ow.
Let's get some heavy assaults to start working on these guys through the shields here.
Sniper on the roof.
Do rockets go through these shields?
Generator destroyed.
No, you have to step out to them, but
Army. On
You got
Apex.
Matrix.
We're gonna try to go get that other shield. You guys stay put here.
if you're in here and you're not heavy, get upstairs.
Copy.
Because the shields are about to go down here.
Generator destroyed.
Alright, get upstairs even if you're heavies now. Shields are down.
They'll have a shield again in
Medics,
just a
stay
moment.
out of line of sight. Got 2 Mag Riders coming in. If you got C4 tank mines, have at it. Our Sunday's down. Now we gotta stay together good.
Spawn beacon is still up.
Got a heavy assault coming in on the east side, south side.
Infiltrator on the
again.
point.
Repaired. Generator repaired.
Be careful with the friendly fire. Alright, shields are back up. Good up. Heavies, make sure this room's clear and head back down. Take out more of the tanks.
Alright, Army, we're heading back to the main building and then over to the other side.
Gotcha.
Actually, both the shield are up right now.
They are. Okay.
Head to one of the vehicle shields if you're out there.
Yes, sir. I believe our squad beacon is up. I'm going to try to drop as an engineer right on the friggin' building and get a tank shield up.
They got
Get crashers.
Need somebody on that squad waypoint. They're taking that gen down again. If that main building is clear, please get over there.
I got drive. And there's debris, mate.
I need somebody else to come to the northwest side here and spawn a AMS Sunday and bring it back in.
Alright, there's armor outside. I could not make it to the shield.
Hey, I need somebody in the base here. What are you guys doing?
Mine isn't armored. Is that all right?
We just need AMS. I need you to spawn it and bring it back in as soon as it lets you move it.
You're losing shields. You're going to need people at the squad waypoint. Move to the squad waypoint and take that back. We're going to defend those. They can't get in with while those are up.
As soon as you can, get back in and deploy it.
Move together, folks. Get to the squad waypoint. That generator is down.
Life left.
Deploy it there. You're good. All right, we got Sunder back up. Okay, guys, in the base, we're going to move out the west side here.
Never mind. You're going southeast. They're all down. You're losing your shields. We're going to lose this place.
All right, get up top, guys. Get up top.
Looks like the NT joined the party. It's a three-way.
All right.
That might actually work to our advantage.
Yeah, I see NC and VS fighting each other all over the place. Unless you're an NG, you need to be in the base defending.
Sunder is at half health.
It's probably going to go down, but it's distracting them at the least.
Yeah.
Number 3, Superbug's down.
I should be able to get you there. Sunder at 20%.
I meant just over half.
Sniper to the north.
Just Brasher.
At what door?
Infiltrator coming up top right now. Be careful.
Quit.
I got you, Fraser.
Cool.
Generator repaired.
Good job. Clear out everybody in here.
I'm moving
They're
along
right
the
around the
south
corner.
to the other gen.
Got a,
We're all down on the outside.
I see you.
Enemy has spotted.
Matrix down.
Chief quit.
They've moved up top.
This is going very well.
Taco, you're up. Ship you're up.
they got a Sunday into the base. They deployed one. If we got heavies, you need to get downstairs and take it out. Heavies, C4, whatever you got.
Can you bring me back, Phoebe?
Sorry, I was just killing them with my pistol.
Not a problem.
Where are all these NC coming
There's
from?
NC.
There's a Sunder deployed in our base, right under A.
He's raising his friend right now. He's right there at the capture point at A.
That's cool. My AO healer bugged.
Abe is down.
Super squad's down.
Black is down.
Flasher down.
All right, we're gonna fall back and let them duke it out
Yeah.
here.
We just got ran over.
I need to pee. I'll be back.
Let's go. Actually, let's go back to a regular squad after this. I'm gonna let everybody get out of here if they need to take off. We got some pretty good practice. You guys saw exactly how well it looked moving through and defending that amp station. We completely wrecked people. They didn't see us coming. All of a sudden, there was like a whole squad surrounding them. We wiped them out with grenades. It was beautiful, taking back and defending that station until the NC and the Vanu and everybody started rolling in, but that's besides the point. So, excellent work there. Excellent work moving around with the engineers to get stuff repaired. That's the kind of stuff we need to do all the time. So, that's beautiful. If anybody has any other questions, comments, anything about the anything we did today, now's the time to ask it. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up here.
My one question is, I was cornered up at the top of the roof up there on our squad beacon point. If I'm stuck like that, you want me to just stay there or just try to move out as slow as possible without getting caught?
It's really up to you. If you don't have a chance to get back to the squad, no matter what you think you can do, you have no chance. You're better off trying to cover us from afar. So hold your position in that case and try to back us up any way you can from there.
All right, that's what I thought.
Plan is go back to Warp Gate. I'm taking a little bit of a break. I probably will be running another squad in about an hour or so. If anyone would like this squad, you're welcome to it. I will move you out of the drill pad. I'll give Rio first chance at that since he's ranking.
I need to take a break also.
Okay, anybody else?
I'm going to take a break as well because the soup is done.
Okay, doke. Well,
I'm taking a break also.
Sounds like
Thank
everybody's
you for
going
the
to take a little
training.
break, but let me take a screenshot real quick for everybody that's here to the very end, and I got that, and we should be good to go. Thank you, everybody, and
Thank you, Atrix.
please spread the word about this thing. Tell people you learned something nifty today, and sooner or later the whole outfit will be operating in this fashion, hopefully sooner. So,
Will do.